Welcome to Nourishing Longevity with Elenzia, where we talk about smart, holistic ways to elevate longevity and support healthy aging. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, as this helps this content reach more people to support and educate. So today we're focusing on our newly launched supplement, Elenzia Fix. This is our gut barrier repair supplement. So if you are struggling with persistent gut health issues, digestive discomfort that isn't going away even after changing your diet, or even if you're struggling with secondary concerns like brain fog, fatigue, inflammation, skin concerns, then this is the episode for you. I'm Elizabeth, co-founder of Elenzia, and today I'm joined by our lead nutritional scientist, Alexander and lead formulator of Elenzia Fix. So hello again, Alexander.
Hello.
Hello. Let's start with giving some background as to why we created Elenzia Fix.
We all know that the gut health market is fixated on two things, and that is prebiotics, so fibers, things like that, and probiotics, so all of these beneficial gut microbes. But what is not being talked about nearly enough is the environment that we're sending them into when we talk about the gut structure itself, the home of the microbiome. And we just knew that we had to support that aspect of gut health. At the end of the day, it's the foundation of good gut health. Yeah. It's the first pillar. And that's exactly why our first gut health supplement, Elenzia Fix, targets that specific concern.
What elements of gut health does Elenzia Fix solve? So what symptoms does it help improve?
Many of us are suffering with something called leaky gut, as we've discussed in previous episodes. And that is when our gut barrier itself has become worn down and has become irritated and agitated and inflamed. So not only are we dealing with direct gut symptoms like the gas, the bloating, the fluctuations between diarrhea and constipation, but then also, as we've mentioned before, those secondary effects that affect the entire body when we talk about our mood, brain fog, energy levels, things like that. Even joint health is affected by our gut structure, by our gut function, by our gut health. So really supporting the gut barrier itself is not only going to reduce those direct gut symptoms that we experience, but is also going to be benefiting the body holistically, the entire body.
And so there's a wide range of symptoms that if people are struggling with, this could be something for them.
It could be that missing link.
Yeah, exactly. So why is Elenzia Fix so different from any other gut health supplement on the market currently?
So Elenzia Fix is a bit of a maverick in the sense of that there isn't really another product on the market that is like Elenzia Fix. And it's got a three-pronged formula in the sense that it targets three specific things. It soothes, it protects, and it restores the gut. And to break that down a little bit, we've got certain ingredients, aloe vera and marshmallow root extract. These are very soothing botanicals, and they help that initial phase, that initial coating of the gut. They start to protect those irritated cells, signaling the immune system to take it down a notch, stimulating that epithelial cell repair. And then we move to the protect phase. And mucin we discussed in the previous podcast, but just as a refresher to those who are listening, mucin is incredibly important, and a continuous production of mucin is what continues to protect our cells as the food is traveling down the digestive tract. It's pulling along and it's taking that mucin layer with it. And that's fine. That's how it's designed to be. But if we don't replace that mucin, if the mucin layer isn't replaced, then it starts to irritate the gut. It starts to scratch and disturb that sensitive layer. But not only that, not only is it a protective thing, it's also a main key habitat for the beneficial microbes in our gut microbiome. The final layer of Fix is providing that restoration stimulus. So it contains glutamine, and glutamine is an amazing amino acid. It's actually called a conditionally essential amino acid, which means that you don't really need to take it in your diet unless you're under stress, unless your body is under stress. But the new normal is poor gut health, which means most of us
are under
stress.
Yeah.
Most of us have got a gut that is on fire and needs that extra support. So for most of us, that additional glutamine is going to make a world of difference. And then alongside that, we've got vitamin D3, we've got zinc, and we've got copper to really support those so tight junction proteins, those proteins between those cells that we need to support the creation of them and their structure and function. So it's really a formula that takes a holistic approach, a deep dive into how do we support the body to support itself.
Okay. So the gut health market has a lot of different products and ingredients, and it's clear that Elenzia Fix, from that discussion, we have a unique formulation. We've made sure that we have the clinical dose of the different ingredients, but there still might be people wondering, is this the right product for me? You know, that there are so many products on the market for gut health. Is Elenzia Fix right for me? So who would you say is the ideal candidate for Elenzia Fix?
Fix really is that missing ingredient in the gut health market, that missing product. And for people who have been on antibiotics for a while for whatever reason, and they're in a position where their gut health isn't where it used to be, they know their gut health could be a lot better.
Yeah.
A large percentage of the time, that is because their gut barrier has been damaged. So those people who have been on antibiotics, those people with an irritable bowel, if you have IBS, or if you have food sensitivities, if you have unexplained fluctuations between diarrhea and constipation, your gut's all over the place and you can't really tell why, Fix is for you.
Okay. And so if people have been diagnosed with conditions like IBS and leaky gut syndrome, is Elenzia Fix right for them? Is it okay for them to take?
Absolutely. It's a gentle but effective formula, and it's been designed in a way that, depending on your actual needs, you can scale up or scale down the dosage. If you're starting to see improvements and your gut's in a much better position and you just want to maintain that, you can start to lower the dose down to just two tablespoons per day.
So it's flexible dosing, isn't it? So we're really catering for those people who have got quite severe, daily symptoms, to those people who are, maybe they might have kind of skin concerns like acne or eczema or rosacea, and they've tried everything topically, but they're thinking, I think it might be something else. There's a more gentle dose for them to start out with, for them to really start to see the effects, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And I mean, we had one review recently which kind of struck me, is that we spoke about obviously antibiotic use, and that's kind of prevalent at the moment, and that can be causing gut disturbances. But something else is use of drugs like ibuprofen. So there was one review that we had, and it was somebody who was taking ibuprofen long term for another health condition, and they were skeptical about taking Fix, but they'd reached the end of, what else can I look for? And they tried it, and they said in a few weeks, they found that it really, really helped their kind of gut symptoms. So how do drugs like ibuprofen is something that Fix can help with if people are taking them long term?
Absolutely. So yeah, ibuprofen is commonly used, and commonly turned to, and so available.
Yeah.
So just like antibiotics, and then NSAIDs like ibuprofen do actively damage the gut barrier itself. They weaken that mucus layer and they irritate those delicate cells that we've been talking about. And I always love reading those comments when people talk about how Fix has changed their life, really.
Especially if they've been skeptical.
Yes.
That's
You've won people over.
Yeah.
But that's why we make the supplements that we make.
Yeah.
We find those ingredients that have been clinically trialed, that have been clinically backed, and we create formulations that think about health in a holistic way. And so we do all of the research. We think about how to make an exceptional product, but still it's always lovely to hear those amazing reviews that we get, and it just really, it motivates us just to keep continuing to do what we are doing.
Exactly, definitely. So let's go back to the ingredients then. So we touched upon them early, but let's give the full kind of ingredients listing within the formulation and why we chose those ingredients.
So those botanicals, aloe vera and marshmallow root extract, we know them from the skincare industry in the sense that they've been used for thousands of years, and they're really soothing, and for irritated skin especially. And we think that we take that mental image of that irritated skin and the application of that cooling, restorative aloe vera gel, and we apply that to the gut, and that's that initial soothing phase. And then we've got the mucus production. That's the key. That's the central part of the formulation, is supporting that mucus. And we've got the postbiotic called Posibio, and we mentioned that in a different podcast, and that is a postbiotic that is from Lactobacillus paracasei.
Okay.
And it's a particular portion of the structure of the cell wall, and because of its unique shape, it helps to stimulate mucin production in the gut. So we've paired Posibio itself with something called N-acetyl D-glucosamine.
Okay.
Now, some of you might have heard glucosamine, and you might have thought about joint health.
Yeah, it's common for that, isn't it?
But this particular form of glucosamine supports not only a reduction in inflammation in the gut, but it also is part of the building blocks of creating mucin itself. So we're providing that input and the stimulus to produce mucin. So we're giving the body basically everything it needs, and the water as well when you drink fix. So we're really providing everything that the body needs to have a healthy production of mucin in the body, and that is really supporting that mucin layer that is protecting and housing those beneficial bacteria that we've been speaking about. And then when we talk about soothe, protect, restore, the restore portion, we've got the glutamine at 15 grams per day. We've paired that with the vitamin D3. We've paired that with the zinc and with the copper. And these are essential nutrients for stimulating those tight junction proteins to be made, to keep our gut strong, healthy, and flexible. And copper's also great because it helps with collagen formation, collagen structure in the body. And collagen's not only, for the outside, it's also very important for the actual structure of the gut as well. So that's a nice little overview and a little deep dive into the little ingredients. But altogether, functionally, this is restoring the structure of the gut.
Is there anything that we haven't already discussed that you feel that people really need to know about elénzia fix?
We've discussed a lot today, Elizabeth. But what I would just give is that take-home message. If you don't support the restructuring, if you don't support the actual gut barrier health itself, then a lot of our work is going to be in vain when we talk about providing probiotics and prebiotics and things like that. So that is really the cornerstone that we need to make sure that we're prioritizing. And everything else that you do on top of that is more likely to stay because we've got that foundation. So everything else that you build on top, you're really building that long-term holistic wellness.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So hopefully you found that really useful. And I think for people who are struggling with those daily IBS style symptoms, persistent gut discomfort, this could really be the missing piece of the puzzle for you. Focusing on gut barrier repair, gut barrier restore could really improve your daily well-being. So thank you very much for listening. This has been Nourishing Longevity with Elenzia. And again, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And any comments, we will get back to you. And for any information on Elenzia Fix, about the clinical research, the data behind the ingredients, it's all on elenzia.com. Thank you.